Also, remember that the pulse is brought to you by Defend Drill Cough Expectorant. It clears chest congestion, smooths cough, and fight a common cold, helping you breathe easy and feel better. Defend Drill is available at all pharmacies and OTCs across Ghana. Not recommended though for children under 6 years. For bulk purchase, contact Rapid Improvement Pharmaceuticals on the Spinters Road next to the Royal House Chapel, or better to give them a call this afternoon on 053-66-1432. That's 053-66-1432. Defend Drill, breathe easy, feel better. And of course, we are starting. Your comments are welcome on X Spaces. We are live on YouTube, on Facebook, and of course on myjoyonline.com. Now, today, the MPP has issued a strongly worded statement condemning the actions of National Security Operative, describing their conduct as politically motivated, intimidating, and pure harassment. And a joint team of police officers and National Security Operative this morning stormed the residence of the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, Bernard Ntwibu-Esiako, also known as Wontumi, to execute a search warrant. The search warrant cited by Joy News authorizes them to conduct a search of Chairman Wontumi's premises. However, the reason behind the search are still unclear. Now, listen to Bernard Ntwibu-Esiako during the attempted search.
Ghana for Musorio, Ghana for Musorio, and before you know Musorio, and before you know Musorio, I am Munti, and I'm Mahama MC, the Vice President. Me, my double Suda, me, my DCO da, me, my Minister da, I am Chairman in media, and I want to make campaign in Mammy, I'm my campaign in Mammy Party, and I'm here, Juma, 2013, we are Saba the Boom, Juma. Mubaye, my topping my Jumana, my count to Bidia was one. Me, my count to Crabby Didio was no. Cemetery, my school fees, a crab higher thing. What I said, most of them won't start to my count to so, and you know, Nasabi, me, sick a bain of the family.
Of course, you heard Bernard Ntwibu-Esiako, also known as Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the MPP, saying that he's been harassed because of his relationship with the MPP, and during the Akufo-Addo administration, he did not hold any government position to warrant the kind of harassment he's going through, and is asking members of the MPP to rise up and defend him. Now, my colleague Nana Yaljima spoke to some lawyers at the residence of Chairman Wontumi when the National Security Authority attempted to enforce the search warrant they had gotten from a court.
The document is genuine. Then yes, it was a search warrant, and a search warrant to even seize any material that they see which is suspicious. But when I spoke to the National Security Officer Commander, he said they have invited him to come, and due to his refusal, they have decided to come here. So even the officer who came had the impression it was an arrest warrant. The content of what you have read, it was a search warrant, and they didn't come here to search; they came to arrest. And so we have negotiated with them. They have agreed that on Monday we should produce him. We will take it after, when we report and they need to come to the house. We'll do it the civil way, so that they search him. And then remember, Wontumi never occupied any public office. He never occupied any public office. So he has a right as an individual to protect his security. But that notwithstanding, we'll send him to the police on Monday. After the discussions, if they have to come to the house to search, we will allow them to search.
Senior, the scene I saw here wasn't palatable at all. The image that this country, Ghana, has created for ourselves as far as democratic tenets is concerned, what actually happened this morning here is a complete apology and a defeat of our image that we seek to portray. And I'll call on the president to put his feet down, because outside people see him to be somebody who believes in the democratic tenets that we are practicing in this country. But if under your tenure some of these things are going on, that taking a more hammer destroying somebody's gate, I think it is unpalatable, and the president, if he's aware, he should take control, and if he is not aware, it is dangerous for the security of this country. How can we go through this system of weaponizing national security to terrorize your political opponent?
I'll prefer your first word, raid. Because when you're going to arrest somebody and you go with about 20 cars, AK-47 and others, when the person is not a coup maker, has not intended to overthrow this government, I don't think it was useful. Bringing about 20 cars is something undesirable for this country, and it's a cost to the state. You could have extended common invitation to the person, even if he failed to respond to that one. You have so many ways of arresting that person or taking statement from him. By the way, eyewitnesses today it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant.
But they had a warrant to search the house. So doesn't that grant them the permission to enter the house? And
did you see the warrant?
I have a picture of a supposed warrant that allows them to search into the house.
How many times have you come into contact with warrants?
There's a few times.
A few times. Yes. And what was on the warrant?
It says that it has granted one individual the opportunity to come into the house with police. Chairman Wontumi's residence.
What is the house number of this house?
I'm unable to confirm on the warrant.
So you cannot confirm that warrant was specifically for this house. That warrant was not specifically for this house. But the issue is that, so if it's to search this house, you cannot arrest him anywhere again if it was specifically for this house. The manner and the way the attempt was made, it is not matured. The way.
All right, so this happened this morning at the residence of Chairman Wontumi, and those voices, those people we spoke to, they were party members that got to the scene, and then they spoke to my colleague. Now, let me find out how this matter was resolved. Nanaya Ojima is with our sister station Love FM, and he joins. Nanaya, good afternoon and welcome to the program. So how was this matter resolved at the residence of Chairman Wontumi?
So, Elvin, two of the people we spoke to in that video that was just played are part of the legal team of the NPP in the Ashanti region. One happens to be lawyer Adam Apia, who is also the secretary of the NPP in the region, and also lawyer William Kusi, who happens to be a part of the NPP's legal team. And the two of them were among the people that were sent to the scene by the party. So these two people were the negotiators.
So run us through. I mean, in the morning we heard a drone
on the ground, and a week later spoke to their. I don't know if Elton able to hear what I'm saying.
We lost you briefly. So I was asking, when the security officials got to the premises, we were told that Chairman Wontumi was in the house. And then the issue regarding the drone, if you can fill us in on what really transpired before that negotiation went on for them to leave the premises.
How they were trying to get access into the house, which they couldn't. Unfortunately, even though they
Daniel Ojima connection is beginning to act up. We'll try and reconnect to him so that we can understand what really transpired this morning, how this matter was resolved eventually. What we are being told is that the MPP leadership, they decided that they will hand over Bernard Nchibu to the police on Monday so that this matter can be addressed properly. The MPP has, in the last few minutes, issued a statement on the two incidents that we are following up this afternoon. The search warrant that the security agencies attempted to execute at the home of Chairman Wontumi, and of course, the matter relating to the petitioner who is seeking a formal dissolution of the 5-member committee that is probing the petition against the suspended Chief Justice. But let me bring you the MPP statement that was released some few minutes ago, and it says the party is condemning in the strongest terms the growing pattern of politically motivated intimidation and harassment of its members by the NDC government through the misuse of state security institutions. These actions represent a direct assault on Ghana's democracy and the rule of law and must cease forthwith. Now, they start with it says at exactly 7 a.m. today, May 23, Mr. Alfred Abebi Kumi, a member of the MPP, also known as Adenta Kumi, was forcibly arrested at his residence by heavily armed men believed to be operatives of National Intelligence Bureau. 6 of the officers were masked and wielded AK-47 rifle in a brazen display of intimidation. For them, this clearly linked to Mr. Kumi's recent petition to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, requesting the immediate dissolution of the committee to establish the petition for the removal of Chief Justice Gertrude Togono. And for the party, Director of Communication, Richard Anyagba, has joined me to throw more light on this particular matter. Mr. Anyagba, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Elton, thank you.
And of course, we're also looking forward to speak to the Deputy Interior Minister, who's agreed to provide some clarity on what happened in Kumasi and Accra this morning. Let's start from Mr. Kumi, also known as Adenta Kumi. As we speak, where is he now?
Well, thank you, Elton. The last I found out about this, I just left the party head office, is still in custody at the Kaukudi offices of the NIB as we speak.
And the information we've gotten is that he is under arrest for publishing, false information.
That's what we're learning. But then, even before you get to that point, the whole approach of this government is very concerning. This is not to say that President Mahama is sanctioning this thing, but he has absolute responsibility for the mess that is happening. The affront to our democracy that is being occasioned under him. And I think that we have to, as Ghanaians, speak in the strongest of terms and indicate to the president that this democracy we have transcends them. It's bigger than them. They are not the owners of it. And so they cannot, by any design of theirs, undermine this democracy that many have fought for. And today, they are the beneficiaries of it because Ghanaians chose His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to be president. They must understand that. It doesn't belong to them. They don't own it. They can't abuse it. What is going on is a clear abuse of our democratic rights, the liberties of Ghanaians, and we cannot and we should not countenance it. This is not an NPP matter. It is about our democracy. We all own it collectively. When they are in the helm of affairs today, they must remember, before them, just gone by was a government. And the space was created for all manner of contentious issues to be brought to bear. That led to their election. And so they cannot, by virtue of having the mandate of the people, abuse the basis for which they are in government today. That's our democracy. But for democracy, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will not be president, but for democracy. And so they should not. His Excellency must understand that with all due respect to him, he is only a steward. He is holding that seat in trust for the people of Ghana. His presidency does not define Ghana in a manner to allow them carte blanche to undermine our democracy. This is disturbing. This is disturbing, and we must all reject this. We must reject it.
I'll allow you to speak more today, but let me also bring in my other guests. Privileged to say that I have also Professor Kwesi. Prof, always a pleasure to have you here on the program. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And of course, also on the line is the Deputy Interior Minister, Mr. Ebenezer Telabi. Mr. Telabi, good afternoon. Well, Mr. Telabi, if you can kindly unmute for me.
Good afternoon.
Great. So let me start with you, Prof. So two matters we are focusing on. Government explains that what happened at Adenta involving the arrest of Mr. Kumi relates to the publication of some false documents. We'll get clarity from that from Mr. Tailabi. There's also some security officials that attempted to, enforce a search warrant at the home of the MPP Ashanti Regional Chairman, Bernard Mchibu. They were unsuccessful. What would be how do you describe what has happened today, Accra and Kumasi, relating to these two individuals from what you said as a security expert? Yes. All right. So, Prof.
Well, I'm only an analyst, but to the lawyer.
Yes, Prof. Please go on for me.
Yes. Now, if I listen carefully to what the lawyer said, so far as those were legal documents authorizing the NIB either to search or to arrest, then it is not in our power to resist. But I think the lawyer also made a good point that due to the tensions, today is Friday, they will accompany him to the appropriate offices on Monday. Let me make this very clear. No single individual in this country is above the law when there's a legal document requesting your presence at a particular place or a statutory institution having been authorized to come and search your premises for evidence. Nobody is above the law. It is the manner in which those orders are executed that sometimes brings about some misunderstandings. But otherwise, these are fairly routine matters, and the unnecessary political twist being given to it is most unfortunate.
I was surprised because they had all the opportunity to effect or to undertake whatever they were looking for in the home of Mr. Bernard Mchibu. In fact, if you look at the videos that we have, I didn't see a lot of people, mass up. And this is a team that traveled all the way from Accra to Kumasi, and they are back empty-handed.
Well, sometimes the speed with which things are unnecessarily politicized creates the impression that national security related interventions or decisions are made not because of the inherent security need, but that is because of politics. Look, if we believe in the law, the fairness in the application of the law, Mr. Mchibu has lawyers.
Right.
He can be present. The search is done. If he needs to be invited to Accra, his lawyers can follow him. I think we all have a responsibility to allow our institutions and the laws to work to lower the political temperature. I truly, to be fair to all parties, when you are invited by a statutory institution legally, I think in deepening democracy and institutional processes, you must also make yourself available, not obstruct the process. And let's believe that with our own representatives present, the search or whatever is supposed to be done will be done professionally. But in instances where, these searches are done as if there's a bull in a china shop, that is not acceptable.
Right.
Build trust in the system and deepen the professionalism and the trust that goes along with these executions.
All right. Kindly hold for me. Let now get some answers from the government circles. And of course, I'm privileged to say that we have the Deputy Interior Minister, Ebenezer Tailabi, on the line, from Member of Parliament as well. Mr. Tailabi, let's start from Mr. Alfred Abebio Kumi. Why is he in custody? All right. We'll see if we can reconnect with him. I think his line just went off. And Mr. Nyaba, you've heard, we are yet to hear from government circles. We'll try and reconnect with Mr. Tailabi. But you appear to have political lenses look into every matter that happens with some of your people. State security is simply doing their job. Why must we view every step they take with political lenses?
Elton, I recall very clearly the voice of the other guest who just spoke, but I just can't remember.
Professor Enin.
If I had it.
Professor Enin.
Sorry?
Yes. So that's Professor Kwesi Enin.
Very well, I thought so. Okay. So I think I agree with Prof on many levels, to the extent that, look, nobody is above the law.
Okay,
and
so if you can kindly, Richard, if you can kindly give me just a second, let's understand what went on this morning so that perhaps I can allow you to react. Honorable Ebenezer Telabi, good afternoon, welcome to the program. We'll get to Mr. Telabi's attention and then hear him clearly. So, Richard, let me allow you to make your point whilst we try to get his attention.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is I agree with Prof that nobody is above the law. So that if I am invited to meet with the police over matters that are of interest and the suspicion that something has been done untoward, the manner in which, you do it allows for one to understand that this is just enforcement of the law or a particular political witch hunt. And that's what the government must be sensitive to. So, NBC, we cannot assume that they are ignorant, that they don't know. They know. And they've been in government before. These are very seasoned people handling our security. So they know what to do right to take away the political twist that is brought to it. But they haven't done it. And they don't want to do it because they know it's a political thing they are doing. You understand? What the NDC is doing is not enforcing the law. They want to show people where the power lies. And that is where the danger is to our democracy. To say that today, the NDC is in government. They're not going to be in government forever. They know that for sure. And I can tell them that if they don't know, they're not going to be in power forever. And so if they are doing these things, there are equally hawks in the MPP who would say that yesterday, this is what was done to our people. Let's do same to them. I would not advocate for that. That's why I'm passionately calling on the president to say that stop these things. What is the point? If people have done anything wrong, let's deal with them according to law. But these other things that appears, of course, that they are trying to victimize people, it's not acceptable.
Okay, Richard, just a second. Democracy. I think we have the Deputy Minister now. Mr. Telabi, good afternoon and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good afternoon.
And of course, Mr. Telabi is a Deputy Interior Minister. Mr. Telabi, let's start from Mr. Alfred Abebio Kumi, the man who was picked from his home at Adenta this morning. Why is he in custody? If you can tell us why he was picked.
Thank you very much. It is true that the security agencies are under the Ministry of Interior, but they do not take daily instructions from us. They work with their intel, and they are doing their work. My advice is that those who are calling party foot soldiers to amass at the various places where the security services are legally doing their duty should stay away. Just let's allow the security services to do their work. If you think that there's something wrong, I'm surprised. It wasn't too long when Ahiagba and Co were telling us to go to court. They should go to court if they think that the security services are not doing, they are not performing, their duties properly. So I don't think that this is something that we should be, belabor. They should go to court if they think that what is going on is wrong. But that will not stop the security services from doing their duty, because there's nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. They should stop politicizing it and rather accuse the government of the day who called people to amass. Is it the first time that NIB is undertaking such an activity? No. Then why are they asking their people to amass? To do what? To prevent the security services from doing their work? No, that is wrong.
But
so my advice is very simple. Stay away from the scenes. Allow the security to do their job.
If you think that what they are doing is wrong, go to court.
Mr. Telabi,
Very simple, my brother.
Mr. Telabi, as a supervising ministry, can you tell us why Mr. Kumi is still in custody?
Yeah. My brother, I can't give you an answer now, but just to tell you that allow the security to do their job. If Mr. Kumi is going to be released, I'm sure whatever they went, after him for, when they get it, he'll be released.
And there are claims that in the process of arresting him at his home, an elderly woman was assaulted. Has this come to your notice?
Have you seen that? Has it come to your notice? I have not heard anything. And this whole, because you see that the whole thing is being politicized by the MPP. So they will do everything. They will go at all length, to create a scene. And I will not be surprised. I mean, that's what you are talking about. Is it coming from the security? Have you crossed-checked? Do you have evidence that an old lady was beaten or whatever? Let's allow the security to do their job. It's very simple, my brother. I mean, the security will be with us. Nobody, as Dr. Henning said, nobody is above the law. And once they have an instruction legally to undertake a duty, you cannot. Nobody should be in their way. You are obstructing. You see, those who are trying to obstruct can also be arrested. It's illegal to obstruct. The security officers. You cannot do that and go away with it. So they should allow peace to prevail in this country. It is not the country doesn't belong to MPP. It is for all of us. It's all of us. I mean, the hypocrisy is too much. The hypocrisy is too much. We don't want to revisit things that have happened before. But I'm surprised. I am surprised at the level of hypocrisy that is being displayed by these people. We are just 5 months in. 2024 is just 5 months, what do you call it? We are just 5 months away from 2024. Have they forgotten so soon what happened in 2024, 2023, 2024? Can that be compared to what is happening now?
So per your briefing, you will say that
they should just be law abiding. That's all.
And I'm saying that per your briefing, you will say that the rights of the individual was respected in the moment that he was arrested.
Certainly.
And then in Kumasi, the MPP regional chairman, the officers went there to execute a search warrant. They were unable to do so. Have they told you why?
Please, we'll get the briefing very soon. We have not gotten it yet. So we'll get it at the appropriate time.
The MPP leadership said that they will present Chairman Wontumi to the police on Monday. Is it a position that you accept?
Sorry?
As the MPP leadership said that they will present Chairman Wontumi to the police on Monday, and I'm asking if this position you accept.
Hold on. If those who are charged to execute whatever they are supposed to be doing decide that they will agree with them, why not? If the police agree and they have reasons for doing that, we would accept it. We are not in to kill Chairman Wontumi.
This politically motivated lawlessness, how do we stop it in an era of rule of law?
Well, my advice is that the NPP must be law abiding. They must be law abiding. That is my advice to them. They must be law abiding.
All right. I thank you for this intervention. Mr. Ebenezer Telabi is a Deputy Interior Minister. So what really is happening on the ground? An office belonging to national security, we are told, has been besieged by followers of the MPP. My colleague Kenneth Jesse is on the ground and he joins me. We've lost him. So, Prof. Enin, if you're still with me, you've heard the government explanation. You find it acceptable?
Yes, I find it very acceptable. Look, when it comes to security, the state has a primary responsibility to ensure that its citizenry are safe. That's number one. Number two, it's not everything that goes on in the assessment of how a particular security operation should be undertaken that can be shared or must be shared with the public. Number three, when you feel or you are afraid, but in expressing your fear, you also incite people either to resist, to attack, or to undermine the state. That is not tolerable. Because if you replay the clip from Chairman Wontumi and the type of words he used in appealing to the MP and the people of Ghana, that was insightful language.
Right.
Okay. We need to be able to understand how the law works. I mean, I have been a victim in the last 8 years, consistent over time. Okay, but that is how people tend. So we need to understand what the law is when it comes, or what the security law is, what the rights are, what we can expect of the operatives, how the operatives must behave. But obstructionist behavior is unacceptable. Particularly when they have a legal document that says they should come and undertake an operation. We may discuss how that operation is undertaken and whether properties are destroyed or they are rough in terms of undertaking searches and all that. That can be discussed. But standard operating procedures around that. You see, but we must learn to trust and believe in our institutions when they are undertaking a service. But the mistrust comes up because people know what they themselves have used these institutions for previously, or what they can be used for. And they realize, all these misunderstandings around what national security and the National Intelligence Bureau does.
My final bit, so that I can let you go, is this is the third time this is playing out. I mean, the first was the attempted arrest of the Member of Parliament, Reverend Intim Fojo. As of now, we don't know where this matter has gone into, because after the state security failed to effect the arrest, the matter appears to have gone to bed. And now there is Chairman Wontumi, and then there is Mr. Alfred, who unfortunately is now in the cooler, at least for now. Politicians appear to send a message that they are immune from some of these things. And I wonder how we can live in a country where the law is for certain category of individuals, and for certain category of people, when they are attacked, all hell must break loose.
Well, I mean, if we look at the history of how national intelligence, services have worked over time, politicians are picked up, they go to the cooler, radical civilians, student leaders, and all that. Particularly in the democracy, okay, both the NPP and the NDC are all sitting on the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior.
Right.
And these are matters that are under the purview of the Interior, of the Parliamentary Committee on Defense and Interior.
Right.
So to the committee level, it can be raised, because, as you correctly said, Intim Fojo has also had a face-off with the intelligence community. So Parliament can begin to say, look, how do we want these operations undertaken? Can we look at the standard operating procedures about what time you need to go in, how the engagement must be done, and all that. So I think Parliament's silence is also unacceptable. Because the essence of these intelligence operations is to send a signal to the population that we are working, we are ready to protect you. But of course, in these operations, there can also be excesses. So if Parliament thinks, or an individual thinks that my rights have been infringed, you can go to your parliamentarian, you can go to court. I think the deputy minister was making allusions, to go to court, that he himself has experienced much earlier on when they may have told him to go to court. So there are legal processes for assuaging the head, the uncertainty that comes from these operations. Right. So let's use that. But let me make it clear. Obstructionist behavior, the sense that I am above the law, cannot be accepted, and it is unacceptable. The state is always above the individual interest, and the state's attempt to protect all of us must always reign supreme. We can discuss the finer details of how those operations are undertaken, and there are procedures for doing that. So insightful obstructionist behavior is an absolute no-no. All right. Prof, thank you so much. Always a pleasure speaking to you. Prof Kesenian, of course, security expert there. Now, let me go to Mr. Wechina Hyagba, communication director with the MP. Mr. Hyagba, you heard from the Deputy Interior Minister. If you are unhappy with what is going on, go to court. But what you are displaying is clear lawlessness. What is your reaction to him?
Well, Elton, I can't disagree more with my senior brother, Deputy Minister for Interior. But let me first come to Prof. Henning. I disagree with him. Earlier, though, I agree with him. But on the matter of how government is approaching this, there is no other way but to resist it politically, because it's a political thing. He talked about SOP, a standard operating procedure for effecting some of these arrests. Those must be understood that if the institutions were doing this thing, it would be entirely different, except that it's been politically motivated. That's how come we're seeing all these things. We agree inherently that there isn't anyone above the law in this country. So if you require require audience, the security service require audience with Wontumi, that must be properly done according to their standard operating procedures. Now, if you now have a situation where you ship people from Accra, prior to that, there was a communication with Wontumi from the regional police command to meet with him. An invitation without purpose, why he was being invited, it was not stated in the invitation, yet he agreed to meet them on a Monday, which is next week Monday. What is the need for what happened today? What is the need for it? There is no legality to this matter. The search warrant, from what I have heard and spoken to people in the House about, and what you played yourself on the radio about the search warrant they were holding, it's not specific. It's a generic paper they're holding. Okay? So is that how they're supposed to operate? And now, the thing about Wontumi being invited, what is the National Security Agency of that? What is threatening to the state security, such that people will be deployed from Accra because we want to talk to Wontumi? What is Wontumi in terms of threat to this state? So then the only thing you deduce from the approach, the heavy-handedness designed to lure people into the arms of the law by this government, it tells you that it's political. And that political objective is to show people where power lies. My senior, the deputy minister, gives an allusion to that. And yesterday what happened? Elton, an eye for an eye, in the words of Mahatma Gandhi, makes the world blind. So if for some reason they have concerns to say that yesterday something was done and they have concerns about it, I was actually asking behind that he should tell us what happened yesterday, that he thinks that what is happening today is measuring against it, and this one, what happened yesterday pales in comparison with today's. Right? Nothing happened yesterday. Look, this whole thing about inviting people to police custody. In fact, when we were in government, you didn't see any of this. You didn't see any of this. I recall people being invited to the police regional headquarters, the national headquarters. It was an invitation. And even that invitation, NDC people even rallied at the premises of the national police headquarters. They rallied there, right? So these things that is happening, I want to just submit humbly. Two things. One, it is political, and when it is political, we can deal with it. Right. We are a political party. We've faced stiffer oppositions in the past. Our forebears have gone through tough times. We can face it.
Right.
But when it threatens our democracy, I think that all political interests must be put aside, because this democracy is the one legacy we can leave for our children. Okay? It is the one thing that can give us a path to development. And so we want to protect this. So anybody who is behaving anyhow, who wants to prioritize their politics ahead of this democracy, that person is not a friend of this state. And I want to say humbly that the president must take note that this Fourth Republic belongs to people. It is our legacy for our posterity. And so we will not sit by and watch anybody attack it without reference to the inheritance it is that we're leaving for our children. I don't have a problem. Invite Wontumi if you want to invite it, but do so appropriately. So what is wrong with the police invitation that he has agreed to attend on Monday? What is the purpose of this morning's operation? It's a political because to show Wontumi where the power lies. But the new patriotic party will not fall for it. The NDC must know that before they came to office, we were in government. And so if it occurs to them that they're in government today and that's the end of it, they must be woken up from their slumber that indeed today they are in government, tomorrow they will not be. And my prayer is that there will not be bad people in the new patriotic party who would want to learn bad lessons from what is happening and will want to pay people back, because that is a threat to our democracy that we must not countenance.
Mr. Nyabra, if you can just allow me, according to the officers that went to Mr. Wontumi's home, Mr. Wontumi was expected to appear before them on the 21st of May, that's 2 days ago. He failed to do so, and that may have pushed them to go there to effect the search warrant. And this appears to have been corroborated by some MPP's lawyers who were on the scene this morning, that, I mean, the claim is that he was invited, he didn't show up, and that's the reason why they came. And now the agreement is that he will avail himself on Monday. But, Mr. Kumi, some of your supporters are already at the national security premises demanding that he is released. The challenge here is that if you think his right has been violated, why don't you go to court instead of this show of force?
But the NDC who is saying that yesterday, what did they do? Political party people would act when they see that their party is under attack. That's why nobody can control it. And I gave you an instance where even Atedo Nketia led his party in the premises of the police headquarters to demand that people are released. They've done that. Now, is that to be encouraged? I don't know. We don't necessarily have to get here. I'm saying that if this government just operated the way they ought to operate, allow the security people to do their work. Now, if Wontumi was invited and he didn't attend, I don't have that information. My information from them was that he was supposed to appear on Monday and is prepared to appear there on Monday. You see, so that must be done. But you see, Wontumi, I'm just saying proportionality is what I'm saying. What threat is Wontumi to this state?
Right.
What is the urgency? If you want to arrest Wontumi, there's a manner to do it that is respectful, that is reassuring that you are not engaged in any political witch hunt. So if the deputy minister wants the temperature to calm down, they must behave in a manner that brings the temperature down. But right now, as a political party, we are agitated. We are unhappy about what is happening. And we are not going to sit for our people to be abused in a manner they are sitting to do. We know, they must know that we also have the intelligence people amongst us. So we know what they are about, what they are trying to do to try to cut us to size, to silence us in a political space. That is not going to work.
All right, let's leave it here.
Silence our political party is not going to work. So if they want to de-escalate the tension, then they must act like it.
All right.
But what they are doing now is not going to de-escalate, and I fear that it will threatens our democracy in a manner that will leave a dent for a long time, and we don't have to encourage it. People learn from these bad examples and will also want to do that to other people tomorrow, because power will shift.
All right.
Power will shift, and that's my concern.
We'll leave it here for now. Richard Nyagba is Communications Director with the MPP, and let's also hear from lawyer for Alfred Abebio, also known as Adenta Kumi, Clement Opoku, who says his client has been formally charged with the publication of false documents.
Yes, he's been charged. He's been charged a few minutes ago. So they cautioned him and then they charged him. As far as the process is concerned, we are almost through. Once there's an interpretation and we are cautioned the press charges are released, then we are almost through. Technically, I'm sure the next should either be in court or
what do they say his offences are?
False publication. False publication in relation to an interview he granted on a traditional media, and then something he posted X account, and then a petition he wrote to the president.
The petition to the president is false? Is that what they're saying?
False publication in respect of these three affirmations.
So Mr. Alfred Kumi has been charged for publishing false documents. And of course, the reason why he is facing this is the petition he claims to have submitted to the office of the presidency demanding dissolution of the 5-member committee that is investigating the suspended Chief Justice. Meanwhile, the suspended Chief Justice, Getsu Tokono, is appearing. It's unclear whether he's already done so or he's still answering questions before the 5-member committee that is probing the allegation of misconduct against her in camera. Now, despite her plea before the court to have the exercise conducted in the open. Now, former Attorney General Godfred Yeboah Dam, who is representing her in a suit before the Apex Court, says the entire process is unconstitutional.
The process has been riddled with a lot of unconstitutionality. The process has been laden with grave violations of the Constitution each step of the way. In the first place, even the President's consultation with the Chief Justice, when he had not notified the Chief Justice of receipt of the petitions, was even unconstitutional. And dispatch the release we are seeking. Secondly, the manner in which the so-called prima facie determination was made was also unconstitutional. It's an affront to the Constitution. Every citizen of this country is entitled to a fair trial. This process clearly it violates every tenet of a fair trial. How can it be told the Chief Justice that yes, a prima facie case has been made against you, and that is it? There's no reason given. There's no specification of which of the allegations, the reasoning for it, the basis, and what have you. And these are basic rights that every citizen of the country ought to enjoy. Justice Paman is one person that I respect a lot. But how can it be that Justice Paman will give 4 judgments in favor of one of the petitioners in the matter and be appointed as the chairman of this committee? And it is not only one matter. Apparently, it is actually two of the petitioners. He also sat on all of the cases involving the police officer, who is also a petitioner in this matter. So clearly, the whole process is really all kinds of unconstitutionality and leading with people who are afflicted by conflict of interest.
All right, so before we end, let me end on this, another court matter, because in a related development, an Accra High Court has formally withdrawn the arrest warrant previously issued against the Director of Passport in relation to the alleged issuance of multiple passports to an individual identified as Dominic Williams. In a fresh statement, the court clarifies what led to its latest decision. Let me bring you details of the statement that came through from the Passport Office. And the statement says that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs wishes to inform the general public that the High Court has formally withdrawn the arrest warrant previously issued against the Director of Passport in relation to the alleged issuance of multiple passports. And they said the Ministry wishes to confirm that the matter has been fully resolved and that the Director of Passport has been cleared of any wrongdoing. It is important to emphasize that the incident in question predates the director's assumption of office on 19th August 2024. The ministry takes this opportunity to thank the judiciary for its swift and impartial handling of the matter and reiterates its unwavering commitment to upholding the principles of transparency, accountability, and integrity in the administration of Ghana passport services. And they also wish to assure the general public that the ministry continues to strengthen internal systems and processes to safeguard the integrity of the passport issuance regime and is committed to serving the people of Ghana with professionalism and dedication. And so that will take us on a quick break on the pause brought to you by Defend Joe Kof Mr. When we return, we'll deal with other stories here on the program. Stay put.